I knew I was gonna kick something. I was bound to. Hold on. Let me see something. Right? Yeah, I feel like that works better because I'm centered here. Yeah, that's a good little camera. So I can appreciate that. I bet you kicked this, Bigfoots. Oh, look at you, Matrix man. Sheesh. I'm just trying to close this song out. I have, you know what it is? Like I've always yelling for no reason. I've always been really good at setting it off. Always been really good at setting it off. Like starting off anything, whether it be a story, whether it be braggadocious raps, whether it be you kicked that just now, you kicked the other camera. I was always good at starting the song. But once I get on a roll and I'm rapping, like, well, I'm gonna end it where? I don't know where I'm gonna end it at. I struggle closing the song out. I don't know if anybody else struggles with that. It gets difficult sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there it is. I didn't share an invite. I'm not doing any of that. Either way, join through the invite you shared. I guess it does it automatically. I don't know. But right now, man, I'm just in the studio trying to close this vibe out. That's really all it is. Like, because so I have one that's already ready. Right? That's ready to go. Locked and loaded, completed. I understand the cadence. I know how it's supposed to go. What's going on? Where you checking in from? What side of the world? What part of the world? That was locked and loaded and ready to go. But when I heard this beat, I was like, nah, I gotta finish something to that. Because the other one's already completed. Am I a gamer? I do game, but I'm not a gamer. I haven't mastered that part of streaming. I would love to. I got Madden loaded up right now on my franchise, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna play the game or do some like front office stuff. I don't know. Right now I'm just in the studio trying to finish the song out, trying to catch a vibe so I can close this song out. Hopefully get both of those recorded before next week. Yeah, because after the 7th, I'm gonna be busy during the day, and recording stuff is not even going to be in the plans. But if I at least get both of these recorded to where I like it, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I currently live in New Jersey. But if I can get them both recorded to how I like, then I can do the editing and all the other stuff and the effects and all that other stuff. I can do that in my in-between time. That's actually my favorite part. That's my favorite. You know what's crazy? My favorite part of making music is the creation part. Like once it's recorded and once it's distributed, I think that part is a little less gratifying because music is subjective. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always going to have my core group of people that always think I'm dope. But when people who don't know me and are as equally critical of rap as I am, when they show love, that changes the whole scope of it. Because it's like, okay, I'm dope to strangers. What's going on? Where you checking in from? Whoever jumps on, just let me immediately know where you checking in from. But yeah. And the crazy thing is, I don't even do music I don't do it to make money. I don't do it for anything other than the fact that I enjoy putting words together. And I've been good at putting words together since I was about 12 years old. Like that's when I started rapping. So I kind of just do it to keep my talk game sharp, to be honest with you, because when you keep your mind in a state of critical thinking and creation, which is what making anything is, and you're trying to find new ways to deliver it, you're trying hard not to say the same thing again. Because as much as, and again, this is all nerdy hip hop stuff. Like, I don't expect people to stick around for this. But when you've been rapping for a long time, or you've been writing for a long time, you'll struggle to reassert concepts without repeating yourself. I'll give you an example. Let's say like you write a poem and it's about female heartbreak. Cool. And you write one about male heartbreak. That's an alternative to the female heartbreak, right? Then you try to get jazzy. Maybe write it from both perspectives. Then you might have an iteration of that poem that involves the person taking accountability where before they were playing the victim, and then vice versa. So now you got 6 different concepts that you can write from. And then you can kind of play with the combinations of that. But outside of that, most people don't think like that. Most people are very linear. I never say that right. Many people are very linear in their thinking. Like, if it's not this, then it's that. If it's not that, then it's that. And if it's not that, then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? People struggle with the concept of broadening your perspective on a topic. But when it comes to creation, I think that's what makes creative special. Like, we derive a lot of our inspiration from the world around us and the different dynamics of people that we come across, and we'll hear a story and it might sound good, it might not. But creatives have a tendency to glean a little more than your lay person. Which there's nothing wrong with that, because if you had a world full of creatives, I promise you nothing would ever get done. Because creatives are the kings and queens of the rewrite. That's why any creative person, if they have a project that they want to work on, their accountability partner should be somebody who's really, really administrative, but also understands the creative process. Because then that would encourage that creative person to stay on task. And the thing about creatives is they struggle staying on task because they've always got an idea. They've always got something to make something better. They're always thinking about something they did. Like, the bane of a creative's existence is the present, because the present is so dull, right? Because once you create the present, then you have to keep building on the present. You're always looking towards that next thing. As a creative person, like, you don't even really enjoy your creations once you make them. What's going on, Thomas? Where you checking in from? But yeah, just that, you know? And the one thing I realize, like, as I get older is I have to try harder to stay focused, because there's just certain mundanities, and I don't even know if that's a word. There's just certain mundanities that life throws at you that, not for nothing, have to remain mundane. They have to. Like, imagine if our lives were on 10 all the time. Like, when I go to my mom's house, they just be having the TV on. Like, it just be on. Loud, too. but it's loud because they turn it on and then they start talking. But then they think they want to watch TV. But really what they're doing is they're playing this game of jealousy with themselves. Like, I can't let the TV be louder than me. I got to talk louder than the TV. Damn it. Now I can't hear what he just said. Now I got to turn it up. Now you yelling. And the TV's on 86. And I'm exhausted because it's loud in here. Yo, you know what? Yo, check this out, though. You know what a dude said to me today? Hold on. Because I gotta focus up for this one. Because this right here was wild. So I'm running my errands, stopping a local shop, right? I didn't mean ShopRite, but I said I stopped at a local ShopRite, although I did go to ShopRite, but I was saying stopped at a local shop, right? And I'm familiar with the people in there. So we're talking, you know what I'm saying? We're riffing because that's, we share humor. It's hilarious in there, right? So I made a comment to my man, John. I said, I'm not real big on giving compliments, although I'll point out something positive about somebody's facial features or musculature in their shoulder or whatever the case may be, because you want to remove the sexualization of compliments so that you could just give one. And it sucks that that's, where we are in the world, blah, 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 right? So this older white dude, he had the camp counselor hat on with the string, and his string was on. It was fastened. Like, he did not want to lose his hat. It was right there up on his, right there, because he's an older dude. So he had the turkey neck. So like, had he pinched it up a little bit, he probably would have caught the little good, and he'd have been mad because it would have hurt. That loose skin be hurting. I'll be giving my pops haircuts. He hates when I have to shave right there. But anyway, he had that on. He had a regular old t-shirt, like old Leonard Skinner, 1977, some older white dude thing. He had some black cargo shorts and the older white dude sports sandals that have like the 5 straps, ankle secure, above the toe secure, arch support, but he ain't had no socks on. I'm just painting a picture. He gonna go say, you know what I can't wait for? I promise you, it got dumb silent in there. Everybody's face was like, I was like, oh yeah, it's about to be something racist, because that's whenever older white dudes, listen, let me tell you something. Older white dudes are always trying to prove to black people that they're not racist by saying things that could be perceived as racist, such as, you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the Derek Jeterization of the entire world. I almost fell out because I was the only one that understood it. Everybody else caught on late. I'm dying. This dude basically said to me, I can't wait till all the races mix together. But he was talking to me. So he was like, I can't wait till you and everybody who looks like you sleeps with these white women so we can make a whole world full of Obama, Tiger Woods, Halle Berry looking. And he swore that was liberal. I know he went home and he was like, yeah, I talked to a black dude today. Told him how I support what he's doing in life. That's probably how he framed what he said to me. And then after he left, that's when the real fun began. I said, I love when white people, especially in that age group, about the 60, 75, you old enough to remember segregation. I love when they try to have the solution to end racism. He was so confident. He said, you know what I can't wait for? The Derek Jeterization of the entire world. Now, what I do know is he heard that somewhere. He didn't make that up. There's no way he made that up. He was not that clever. He said, unless he has homoerotic fantasies about Derek Jeter, there's no way he made that up. He heard that somewhere and was like, when I go outside, I'm about to kill him with this joke. The young lady who was there, who lives an alternate lifestyle, was aghast at the fact that he would say that. John's face, I keep saying his name because I forgot the girl's name. I'm sorry. And then John came upstairs. In fact, both of their names is John, is it not? Yeah, 2 Johns. Helene? I don't know. But anyway, the 2 Johns, I couldn't listen. John's, my man John, the other John I just met, I just realized his name was John. My man John, his face was clearly reactive off of every joke that I was telling about what Combat Jack Lindstrom, is that a real person? Is that the guy who died? I think it is. All right, let me take that back. He looked like Crocodile Dundee mixed with the other guy who passed away, Steve Irwin, but he was happier when he passed away. So I can use him as a reference because you get it. Because he looks like in his spare time, that's what he does. He looks like he volunteers at a children's petting zoo. That looks like where he was coming from because he had the action sandals on. Not to be mistaken for Crocs that are in action mode or sport mode, whatever you want to call it. Why are we wearing footwear outside that none of us are prepared to run in? I don't understand it. You're not being safe. You're not being safe out there. You know, and then you're an older gentleman. There might be times where your footing is unsteady and your toes are out. You cuff your toes on the curb or something concrete, brother. You're not having a good day. I just want to understand, I get it. Like when you get older, your feet be hurting. You don't like anything constricting, all of that. I get it. But no. I feel like nobody prepared anybody to be older. My mom's still running around in Chuck Taylors. I don't know. Those can't, and she be walking. Those can't possibly feel good. Do they feel good? Walking in Chucks? I don't believe it. I don't believe so. That man said the Derek Jeterization. And you know what I realized too? That stuff like that always happens to me. I feel like older white people get excited to see me because I'm like black, but I interact in public. So it's like, oh yes, I get to say to him what I can't say to my next door black neighbor who never smiles at me. He looks like and they just come up to me and they be like, you know what? And I'm like, oh no. Every time they be like, you know what? Or I gotta guess something. Every time an older white person wants to play a guessing game with me, there's always unintentional racism attached to it. I'm not even kidding. I wish I was joking. Every time. You want to play a guessing game with me? I don't know, Nedra. I think you might be setting me up for some inadvertent racism. 7 times out of 10. And that's a real ratio, right? That's the word, I think. I don't know fractions. I'm not gonna lie to you. Algebra made me stop going to high school. At this point, I'm just rambling. But let me get back to it. You know what I'm saying? Over here too. Camera 1, camera 2. I like that though. I feel like I can actually do that with the same stream. I'm gonna figure that out. Figure all this out. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. No one prepared our age group for any of this, but we are the most prepared to deal with it. Nobody prepared us for this time of our lives, but we are the most prepared to deal with it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the generation that raised us, they was hella grudgy. They didn't work together well. They spent most of their time being jealous of one another's accomplishments, which is why Black women at the age of 60-something are the most accredited, because accomplishments mean things in certain spaces. They might mean something professionally, but not for nothing. I feel like a lot of people get extra education just so they can flex on their families. And I feel like that because I've seen it. Not in my family, to be honest with you, but I've seen that. So in saying that, we're the most prepared for it because we're also coming off that era of having a bunch of cousins that grew up like our brothers and sisters. So if we don't have 2 or 3 of those that we're still tight with at this stage of our lives, then we've done ourselves a disservice. But if we do have that, then we have the support that's needed to guide one another through these aging and passing parent stages of our lives, because that support is going to be needed for the after. You know what I'm saying? Like, as you're dealing with it, you know, you're running around, you're doing the stuff, you're going to the places, you're doing the things, right? But once the dust settles and the phone calls stop and people stop caring as much as often, it changes. It changes. Nobody wants to talk about that, but it absolutely changes. And it hurts when it changes, because that's where a lot of rifts begin in families. You weren't there when. If it's not that, then it's something about money, policy, place, you did, signature, you did that, you know, all of that, right? But for the most part, the aftermath of our generation's elders passing is us coming face to face with our own mortality and who we're going to do that in the presence of. Who are we going to allow to be in our lives as we coast into that space? Because I'm not going to lie to you, that space doesn't have any room for grudges. I can tell you that much. This space right now has zero room for grudges. We cannot afford to be angry with one another over reasons that only one of us is aware of. That's foolish. I'm saying it now so you don't have to live it later. What are you grudging about? Whatever you didn't do, you chose to not do on your own time. Nobody made you not do. Whatever you didn't say, same rules apply. Whatever you didn't say, same rules apply. You're either going to be an active participant or somebody on the sidelines waiting for somebody to say, shoot the t-shirt cannon at them. But if you don't get your t-shirt from the t-shirt cannon, you're going to be like, nobody did this for me. Who told you to be in the stands? We was down on the floor seats. You chose to be up in the stands because you felt like you could only be in the stands because you weren't good enough for the floor. You convinced yourself of that. You convinced yourself to be away. I guarantee nobody told you to stay away. Whoever this applies to. Nobody told you that. Not one person. So while the rest of us are trying to understand what our support system is going to look like in these upcoming years, there are those who are going to sit and pine over what somebody else didn't do for them, say to them, be for them. Find your people. Ain't nobody too good. Ain't nobody too good to find their people. Because guess what? I've seen lonely elders. And it breaks my heart. A lot of them are just the last of the Mohicans. But there are some who just was like, nah. They owe me an apology. And now they're sitting out in front of the building waiting for people to say hi to them. They're sitting on the porch waiting for people to wave hello. They're looking at their phone even though they know they don't receive phone calls. Because they ended that for themselves long ago. The human experience is tough. TDH. The human experience is really tough. I'd rather do that with the support of than the absence of.